Mind Gap Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Mind Gap Podcast. My shoulder just popped. I'm Doug, and I forget how it goes after that because I ruined the flow, but it happened. My shoulder popped.
And I'm Justin, and my back did not go out last week. And Doug, you know what?
I clapped. My shoulder popped. It was so weird.
It was from the clap that your shoulder popped.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I did that. I did the big motion with my shoulders, and then I heard a pop, and I'm like, huh, okay, it doesn't hurt, but. That was something. It ruined my train of thought.
I love the fact that 70 something episodes into this.
472, baby.
472 episodes into it. We're still surprising ourselves. That's the magic sauce of this show.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, Doug.
Yeah. I like to be authentic, you know?
Mm-hmm. You like to, you know what? This show is nothing if not authentic. If you want to know who Doug and Justin are, we were just talking about this. Anyone who works with us has never really met us, per se.
Yeah. Give a listen to one of these episodes. You'll be like, this is who they are. The endless butt guys. Got it.
Oh, it's so. But you know what? I like who we are. So there you go.
We're having fun. That's all that matters.
If I could hang out with Podcast Me or Work Me, I'd probably choose Podcast Me. And that's that. So
Podcast
Doug,
Me, he's a real hoot.
he's a hoot and a half. Do you prefer talking on the phone or texting?
Depends on who it is. And it depends on the situation. I like to, it's weird because nowadays I like to send a text to set up a phone call, even with my good friends, because I feel like calling unannounced is almost rude. Although sometimes pleasantly unexpected, you know? Okay. When people call, I'm like, oh, cool, they're calling. I should answer that. And I will. I'll make time for it. Other times I don't know what people's work schedules are. And I just want to be like, hey, I'd like to have a conversation. When's a good time to call? And then I set that up in advance. Checking in with people, just being like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Hey, did you see this? Blah, blah, blah. Absolutely prefer a phone call to talk about serious stuff. Like actually, so that, you know, if there is a conflict, fucking phone call all the way through. No texting. Texting is an absolute disaster, and I don't recommend it to anybody, even though people fucking do it because they're too afraid to talk on the phone. This is coming from the guy who doesn't like to order their own food to get it delivered. I hate talking on the phone for stuff like that. But yeah, hate that shit. Yeah, it's a big deterrent for me. But if it's like, this is a problem, then we need to be able to communicate with each other, hear our tone, and hear the conversation versus reading text and trying to interpret tone, interpret intention. That's a disaster. So if this is just talking like, hey, just chilling with my friends, I'll go for either, honestly. I think it depends on what we're doing. It's just a quick sort of like, hey, check this out. Bada bing, pew. It's like, cool. Awesome. Texting is great. But obviously you want to catch up. Let's catch up over fucking... I guess it's like when people I haven't talked to in a while. Hey man, happy birthday! Yeah, thanks, man. How's it going? I'm like, I don't think this is the time to do that. Like, I mean, it's gonna get a very abridged version. I'm like, life's pretty good. You know, no complaints. Yeah. How's Natalie? I mean, how deep do you want to go? I mean, she's done softball. She's in, musical theater. She's doing ice skating. Yeah, cool. What's Jill up to? We're doing it, huh? We're doing this. Okay. She's just crushing dudes' heads between her thighs, just living large,
as Jill's wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your brother up to? Oh, okay. So it's just like, one of those things where let's just call each other. If that's what we're going to do, I'll fill you in on everything. Because otherwise I'm going to give you because I hate typing on my phone. Yeah. So I'm going to give you short versions of everything.
Yeah. At some point in that exchange, you're just like, how's your brother doing? Hey man, do you just want to call? Can we just set this up? Or Or you'd be like, hey, you seem to have a lot of free time to text. Can I give you a call right now? We'll knock this out.
Yeah.
15 minutes. We'll be done with this conversation.
Yeah, there's times where you and I are chatting, on GChat or whatever, and you're like, hey, man, I'm just going to call you on here because I think this is going to be easier. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. I'm totally on board. Let's do that.
That's kind of where I stand with talking versus texting. If it's something short, if it's just like, again, just a thought or say, hey, let's during our meeting, let's talk about this or let's do whatever, or just saying, hey, how was the thing? It was great, blah, blah, blah. Short things back and forth. I really do enjoy texting. I have found, and I don't know if this is an age thing or if this is just me slowly giving up on effort just in life or what it is, but I have found that in
general, just giving up on effort in life? Because
just in general. You. Yeah. I don't enjoy if I have to type something out that is longer, like if I can't, like trying to compose my thought. I have been using the voice to text feature so much more lately than I ever have, because I'm like, I just don't want to sit here and it's just annoying. I don't want to have to do that. Something short, real quick messages, checking in with someone, no problem. But if it gets, like you said, if it gets to a certain point, I'll switch to voice to text first. But without hesitation, I will do a phone call. I don't mind them. Now, I have a time limit on phone calls. Do you find yourself having a time limit on phone calls?
It's different for each person.
Yes, exactly. 100% yes. There are certain individuals where I'm like, once we cross the 15-minute threshold, I'm like, we got to wrap this up. We are getting too long. I'm getting anxious and I can't sit still anymore. And I'll find myself pacing around the house. Like I'll do giant laps around my entire house. I'll be like, oh, look, I got to fix that nail hole. Okay. That's like, I'll be everywhere but the conversation. There are some people, and you and I tend to fall into this category, where it can be an hour and I'm just like, oh, and I forgot to tell you this other thing. And it's like a podcast. Like you and I do this so often, it doesn't feel unwarranted to just do it on a random day, Yeah. So there are people where I need a shorter conversation. There are people where I don't really give a shit how long it goes. But I don't mind a phone call. I'm not, I know the younger generations are like, oh, someone's calling? What is this? Very uncomfortable. But I don't find myself falling into that camp.
Yeah, it just depends on who I'm talking to. Because honestly, talking to my dad on the phone was always like pulling teeth.
Was it?
Because I'm like, I didn't know what to talk about with him.
Interesting.
Because it was just like when I was in sports, that was the common ground for us to talk about. Like, oh yeah, how's track going? Good. How's your track going? Good. But now, like, haven't talked to him in over 2 years. But when we towards when our relationship was existing, I just didn't feel compelled to talk to him on the phone because I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
because I'm just like, hey man, pretty cold over there. Like literally, I'd be doing like small talk with my dad. And I'm like, I call my mom and she'd be like, oh, John's here. And she'd like put him on. I'm like, oh, fuck, I wasn't prepared for this. I don't have anything to talk to him. I'm like, hey, man.
I write my list out. I had a tight 5.
It's like, how's it going? Oh, it's good. They're building a new Comfort Inn over next to the Walmart. Don't know why they're building it. I mean, who's staying here? And they were supposed to open 4 months ago, but they had a bunch of immigrants that were building it and someone called the feds on them. So now they're delayed on building it out. So I don't know. I can't imagine that place is going to be occupied that much during the year. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why?
Wow.
Why?
Woo, buddy.
Real conversation.
Seriously,
and I'm sitting there just going like, I don't know what to contribute here. I don't know what to contribute.
What can you contribute? There's nothing for you to say to that.
It's basically this. What's new in Kirksville, Missouri? And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Yep, the Wendy's closed.
John Witness news. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wendy's closed. They turned it into a car insurance place, and then like it's not that long after, they're like, car insurance place closed, and they're turning it back into a Wendy's. It's like, cool. This just did.
Was that an actual? Please tell me that was real.
It was real.
That's so uncomfortable. Oh man. That is wild. There are some, I'll say some people, it depends. Do you have anyone where it alternates? Like sometimes, I'm trying to think how to say this best. Like sometimes sometimes it's a short conversation where it's like pulling teeth. And then sometimes you just randomly will find a groove, or you have things to talk about with that person, and you can go for 30, 40 minutes, no problem. There's a few people, most people fall into one camp or the other with me. There's a few people where when I talk to them on the phone, I'm like, this could go either way. This could be a real painful conversation, or this could be very natural.
For the most part, no. Like the people, I don't talk with a ton of people on the phone, but the people that I do talk with on the phone are usually like worthy of a phone conversation. And I don't make that.
Fair enough.
I mean, so
yeah,
I'm not getting like, Uncle Tommy going like, hey, Doug. I'm like, hey, what are you doing, bud? Don't wait. Yeah. By the way, I don't have an Uncle Tommy. So, I don't have like a weird cousin or something that's just calling in or whatever. Like I don't have that. So yeah. So no, I don't. Okay. But let us know. What do you think? Will you prefer talking on the phone or texting? It doesn't matter. Important stuff. Inquiring minds at MindGap want to know. Mm-hmm. So let us know. Speaking of inquiring minds, I have a little thing that has been on my mind for a little bit that I wanted to share with you because I want to know whether or not I'm crazy. And I need your advice.
Done.
Okay. So I was going on a walk recently, and people have their Christmas decorations out. And I don't know what it's like by you, but out here, there's a lot of people that do the inflatable decorations.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't like them.
Okay.
I really don't. I find them to be, maybe it's just what I'm used to for decorations. They seem cheap, and they seem sad because when they're not inflated, they're just like dead little used condoms on their lawns, And then when they are inflated, it's like you walk by and you hear as like the air's blowing into them and whatever, and they just look like real cheap things for the most part. But I'll pause there. Your thoughts on inflatable decorations?
Wow, hot take. No, I don't. Let's see. I don't have a visceral reaction to other people owning them. My conversation with myself and anyone else that I'm with is a not unfamiliar conversation that happens in the Midwest. And I always ask the one question: where do you store it? That's the thing. Halloween. The people who have those 13-foot skeletons or the big whatevers or the 50 skeletons that they make look like they're climbing the walls of their house. I'm like, that's really cool. Where do you store this? There's someone,
Justin, as someone who used to work at the Container Store, I feel like you could answer that question.
Right. But if you put them in a box, but where's the box going to go, Doug?
Dude,
is that a coffee table?
I've heard nothing but legendary tales of how you have helped people organize themselves via the different selections that are available at the Container Store.
You're not wrong. And it's good that you're plugging this right now because they are filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
They need your help. We're going to turn this into
build a
an ASPCA sort of in the arms of an angel is going to play as we're talking. Container Store needs your help. Go buy a box today. Look at all the different grades that you could get from boxes. Yeah.
No, for me, it's just
you got to be organized. That's what it is.
You have to be organized.
Yeah.
Contain yourself is what they say.
Yeah. I would say at least with the inflatable stuff, that's got to be easy to store.
Way easier there's just a couple blocks away. There's someone who's got a. Do you know? So it's. Those really, you'll see them a lot of times. They're maybe, I don't know, 6 inches tall or so. And it's like the really thin pieces of wood that go together and they create like an animal. You'll see them sometimes just sitting on like people's like desks or something. They're really, it's like flat pieces of wood, but all the things are cut out in a way that when you lock them together,
I think I know what you're talking about.
It creates a 3D kind of animal. So these people have a, I don't know, maybe a 6 foot long by 7 foot high. Like it's a full size moose of that. And it's like plywood and like that kind of stuff, or the big skeletons that are hard plastic. Those things, I don't know where people are storing these things. Cause to me, that would just It would just drive me nuts. I got all my Halloween stuff, all my Christmas stuff. Each can fit in a box, and I'm good. That's it. I don't know. But if I'm, throwing inflatables and I'm throwing big plastic things and reindeer that are, pieces of plywood, it's going to drive me nuts knowing that it's taking up space in my house. So I don't mind people having them. I always just question, where do you keep it?
For the record, I don't mind that people have these decorations. They're just not for me.
It sounds like you mind, though.
No, I'm just saying, I would never buy that. If we're going to decorate, I'd be like, absolutely not. I don't want an inflatable anything because I don't like the way it looks. Now, I'm walking. All right. I'm walking here. And I come by this house and
that wasn't just, I thought
that wasn't it. That was just a little,
love it.
Little appetizer. Love it. In general, how do you feel? So I'm walking by this house. All right. And I see they have a bunch of inflatable stuff and I see 3 separate things right next to each other. All right. In the center, nativity scene, baby Jesus, and Mother Mary, Joseph.
Is it an inflatable baby Jesus?
Inflatable. It's all inflatable. All right. Right
here
there.
We go.
Bam.
Here we go.
Right in the middle. I was like, okay, flanked on either side of this. And I'm like, they're close enough to be like, oh, these are the 2 extra wise men that showed up here.
They were
on
at
the
the
left
manger.
On the left is the Grinch, and on the right is Olaf. Like they're right there. And I paused and stared at that, and I'm like, that might be the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I don't think this was intentionally supposed to be funny, but it's fucking hilarious.
So
because I'm like, this is
this scene. This is
the trifecta of fictitious Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grinch, Olaf, nativity scene. It's all fake. And it's hilarious. Right. They're like, let's bring it. They may as well have Captain America standing behind it. You know what I mean? It would be hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Mickey Mouse or whatever. Bluey.
I've seen a bunch of blow up Bluey, the family around this area. And these things are 7 feet tall. Mm-hmm. It's a sizable fucking, It's like the id, ego, super ego of Christmas that you walked by. Jesus is, I don't know what each of them would be, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
I saw that and I immediately did a voice memo to Jill because it was cold and I didn't want to type it out. And I go, I just saw what I think might be the funniest fucking thing ever. And I explained what I saw. I was like, this is amazing. Because I think if you're going to put up the nativity scene, I don't think you're going to be like, and flanking on the left is going to be the Grinch. He's going to hold strong side. And on the weak side, we got Olaf. He's going to be keeping his eyes up for, any backside blitz from the linebacker. It's very strange. It's very strange to me. Is that crazy? Is that a crazy?
Pontius Pilate wants to sneak up. Olaf's going to get him.
No Judas is here yet. Let me tell you what.
I think if I were to,
I understand how the timeline works in that universe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I would think that if I were to set that up, I would probably separate them. I can't imagine it. So it's one of 2 things. Either someone didn't realize what they were setting up or someone was genuinely, someone in that house is genuinely funny. And someone else in that house is really pissed off.
Based on the political signs they had out in their yard, I don't think they're funny. I don't think they're humorous folks.
They're just,
I think that is a clueless thing. They obviously have kids or have grandkids or something that come there. And I'm just like, weird positioning, bro. Weird positioning.
That's rough. Yeah. You have to think or how does someone coming over one of their friends, has no one called that out to them yet?
Probably because people ignore those inflatable decorations because they're gross and ugly.
See, Doug, I really feel like you got strong feelings about these things.
I have no problem with them. No problem. They just look like
mixed messaging.
They just look like they're full condoms, just waiting to explode. That's all they look like to me. But hey, man, you do you. You do you. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all that stuff. All right. And what's with the Grinch, man? I understand that was a Christmas movie and everything like that is part of it, but the amount of Grinch decorations that are out there, I'm like, that's a weird guy to celebrate. Kind of I understand he's got a full circle arc, right. But all the things they put up there is him being like, I'm going to steal your shit, and I'm like,
it's not post heart growing Grinch. It's tiny heart Grinch is who they're posting up.
Yeah.
The mean Grinch. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
It is a weird thing. The Grinch, I understand it, Buddy the Elf, certain things that have become like Christmas canon now really, really like pop culture has glommed onto them as far as this holiday goes.
Do you think Hot Frosty will become Christmas canon?
I would love that. I would, if they do, I'll tell you this, if they do a Hot Frosty blow up doll, I'm in. Are you looking up to see if they have a Hot Frosty?
Are you familiar with this film, Justin?
Oh, no, I thought we were doing a bit. There is a Hot Frosty. Now, we're not talking about like a warmed up, like this is like jacked Frosty, like Frosty that's yoked.
This is like a melted beverage from Wendy's.
Right,
you know?
yeah. This is like yoked, a yoked snowman.
No, it was on Netflix. It was a movie called Hot Frosty.
Oh my God, this is a thing.
It's a real thing. If I'm not mistaken,
that's Dustin Mulligan.
Yeah, it's Dustin Mulligan.
He's from Schitt's Creek. Oh my God, that's Lauren Holly.
It's a whole thing.
What? Wait, Lacey. Oh my God, these are like real people in this.
Real people are in this film, not AI. Real people.
But yeah, I mean, this isn't just like all no-name actors like most of these holiday films are. Holy shit.
A quick overview of the film. On her way home, the main character, Kathy, she sees a snowman sculpture competition and places the scarf on a muscular snowman and takes a picture. And that night, the snowman comes to life. And he's this jacked snowman that comes to life.
I also like this write-up about it. When widow Kathy magically brings a snowman to life, his innocence helps heal her heart.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know what a blowjob is. Oh, he's so innocent.
Is it a snow blow job?
Oh, so good.
What is the? I'm not going to lie, Doug. There is a part of me that wants to do. Should we add this to the 500th? Should we watch this?
You know what kills me inside, Justin? You'll watch this before you watch Arcane or before you watch Secret Level.
You're not wrong.
I know it. I fucking know it. And that makes me die a little on the inside.
Yeah, but I love how well you know me is the thing that makes me happy.
Yeah, I know. And I die a little bit on the inside. Because those are two really good shows. And you're like, yeah, but there's Hot Frosty. It caught my attention, you know?
Yeah, but we really need to see this. I am like an ADD chihuahua. Like, it's just like something grabs my attention. I got to go after it.
Yeah.
This is wild. I feel like we need to watch this, Doug. We need to see this thing. We need to do a watch party together.
This is a tough one. This is a tough step.
Can I just also say, like, I look at something like this, and here's the thing. No one sets out generally. This is a blanket statement. There's always exceptions to the rule, but generally no one sets out to make a bad piece of film. They're like, people like, I got a good idea and I'm excited about this thing. So to the filmmakers, to the people who are in it, like, and here's the thing, this may be a fun movie. At face level, it looks very wild and silly. But someone funded this. Like to go back to our conversation a couple of weeks ago, like someone funded this. Someone actually put money forth. They read the script. They were like, yes, we're going to give millions to this thing. That just,
like,
there's a part of me that
most
breaks
Christmas
my heart.
movies, you know? Like, it's better than most rom-com Christmas movies. Suck it, Hallmark, you know?
It's got an 85% in Rotten Tomatoes.
See, I see 79%, so I don't know which Rotten Tomatoes you're looking at, but...
Are you on actual Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah.
I was on Wiki.
It's 79, so probably, it's got 34 reviews, it's 79%.
Okay.
The average viewer gives it a 52%, so, you know, whatever.
I love how the critics were like, this is the movie, and audiences are like, false.
Hey, man, that happens all the time. Yeah,
but usually not for a film like this. Like, the discrepancy in this, like, that's almost a 30-point swing. That's a pretty big discrepancy for a film like this, which, again, intrigues me even more. Because the two shows you recommended, I guarantee you, they've got good audience and good critic reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. This is intriguing. This is a mystery. And I feel like I need to get to the bottom of it.
So anyway, Hot Frosty inflatable. Yeah. Right next to have him backing up the nativity scene, you know. Frosty will keep everyone warm for the holidays, that's for sure.
Oh, he will. Look, I'm not going to lie. If Dustin Mulligan, if they had a blow up of him, I'd put him in my yard.
Why not?
Guy's hot. It's a Hot Frosty.
It's a Hot Frosty.
It's a Hot Frosty.
Let me know what you think, gang. Is it weird that someone has a nativity scene flanked by the Grinch and Olaf, like right next to it? And I don't know. Have you seen Hot Frosty? Is it worth it?
Would you
Justin watch that first before Arcane and Secret Level? Let us know in those comments. YouTube.com/MindGapPodcast. Like and subscribe, baby. All right. Let's turn to some, holidays are almost upon us once again, right? We had Thanksgiving. Now it's coming to Christmas time. It's all about family, but let's talk about something specific, Justin. Let's talk about food sharing.
All right. I'm in.
All right. There's this article in The Independent that's based on a Reddit's Am I the Asshole post.
One of our favorites.
Apparently, to sum it up, this guy bought himself some persimmons, which, by the way, I didn't even look that up. What the fuck are persimmons?
I've heard of persimmons.
It's a fruit.
Do not know what they are.
They look like fucking tomatoes.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'll buy that.
It's a species of the trees of the genus Diospyros. All right, cool. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this dude bought a bunch of persimmons. He likes them. He likes them to age a little bit so they get mushy. His wife likes them nice and fresh. So he bought a bunch of persimmons, and his wife ate them all. And he was like, "Oh, that sucks. I don't like that." So he bought some more, and then he set some aside for himself so that they could age a little bit, and he set some other aside for her. And so eventually when he was about to have some, he had some of his, and she said she didn't like him soft. And so he's like, "Doubt it, because you're married to me." And so he gave her a little bit of piece. She goes, "Ooh, that's good. I want to have one." And he goes, No, those are mine. And she's like, "What do you mean those are yours?" He goes, "I bought these for me." And she's like, "No, whatever food you buy belongs to everybody." And it sparked this debate of, do you have food that you have, when you buy it, do you have to get permission to eat someone else's food in your household? And I was curious, what's it like in your household? What was it like growing up, and what's it like now with your wife?
It's a really good question. And I think something that is, I think this is one of those things that people probably just, they go about life the way that they go about it. And they don't realize that there's actually a debate raging about this, that this is not how everyone does it, is not the way that everyone else does it. So when I grew up, the way that we were lucky in my mom and stepdad's house, a lot of the stuff that my stepdad liked when I was younger was not my bag. So he was kind of free. He liked blue cheese and, things that were never was my bag. So he lucked out with a lot of the stuff that would be on the grocery list for him, just remained untouched, which was kind of a happy accident that he backed into. There was never, I don't ever remember any hard and fast rules about this is my stuff. Do not touch. When in college and stuff, yes. There was, if you didn't buy it, you didn't touch it unless you asked or someone offered, right? That's just how it is. When I was growing up, that was not the case. It was just kind of a whatever was in the cabinet was in the cabinet. Go for it. Now in our house, I would say 98 to 99% of what we buy is I would say 100% of what we buy is open to whoever wants it. There's some understanding, I would say. Beth buys these certain type of protein bars, and I never go after them. If I wanted one, I could have one, but she knows that when she buys those are hers. So she knows that she buys a certain amount because I won't be touching them. They're just not my thing, So it's not that I'm forbidden from them or that I have forbidden her from any of my food. We just know there are certain things that just won't get touched. So we'll only buy however much we independently want, if that makes sense.
It does. It does make sense. Yeah, when I was growing up,
your growing up was a very different experience.
Yeah, it was like locusts descending on things, especially if you had something that was considered, delicious, like birthday cake. The favorite tale my brother and I like to reminisce about is there was one year, I think it was my birthday, just got a sheet cake from Hy-Vee or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And we all had some, and then overnight the cake was gone. went to bed. Significant portion was there. Woke up, it was gone, and the line that was fed to us was like the dog ate it. The dog ate the cake, and I was like, that dog. Looking back, I'm like, that dog should be dead. Like that dog should not be alive with as much frosting and stuff that was on there. There's like no way. Also, how did the dog get to it? Right? Like
it was in the fridge, right?
Like how did it get the cake?
Right.
Like, and I was like, we deduced it's like one of our parents or both of them fucking devoured that overnight. Like just tore into it.
And you said there was a decent amount of sheet cake left.
There was a significant amount of that cake left, and that cake was gone. Like the dog ate it. It's like, okay. All right. But yeah, like pizza, things like that. Like you had to get in there and get it because like someone was going to
take how much you want, load that on your plate, and then just walk away.
Plan accordingly. We would all be plotting like as if it was some sort of like great Game of Thrones like power play on who was going to get this pizza and when. And so that created, I don't know, eating habits that I am still trying to break to this day.
Sure. Sure.
There were certain things like it got me sneaky about it because like my dad would get 2 liters of soda and I would like sneakily like take swigs of them, but not drink too much because you don't want to think that someone's like,
that's how
almost like I'm trying to drink alcohol.
Most teenagers do booze, right? Exactly. That's
with
how
me. It was with a diet Dr. Pepper that my dad bought, so I was just like taking swigs, but like not too much because I don't want to think that someone's getting these. There were some things that you just like would leave a knowing that my dad would make sandwiches and stuff like that for lunch. So like I try not to touch his gross lunch meat or whatever. But for the most part, I mean, it was kind of like eat what you can because somebody's gonna,
right, right.
And because of that, when I started living with Jill, like we bought a carton of strawberries and I just fucking demolished it in like one sitting. And she was like, hey, what happened to the strawberries? I'm like, oh, I ate them. She goes, what the fuck? Like, I wanted some of those. And I was like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't think, I was like, I like these, so I better eat them, And there'd be times where it got to the point where in a relationship, like, she'd be like, do you want to have some? I go, do you still want some? Because if not, I'm going to kill it. Like,
right.
You have to clarify what it is. And now he's like, Dad, you want some of my food? I'm like, let me know when you're done. Let me know when you're done. Because
I won't play the game Tasties. No, it's all or nothing for me.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I was like, let me know when you're done. And I always tell Nelly, I go, I will never intentionally eat something that you want. All right. I'll never intentionally kill something.
Set this up.
Because I was like, I won't do it on purpose. If I don't know and I eat it, I'm sorry. But if you tell me don't eat that, I won't. I promise I'll save you some.
Right.
But yeah, like nowadays we're good. Like I buy supplies for the week with intention to cook and things like that. So, everyone can have the eggs. Everyone can have the bread. I still ask, like, if Jill gets like certain treats or whatever, I'd be like, is it cool if I have one of these Ghirardelli peppermint bark things? And she's like, yeah, I bought them. I'm like, yeah, but you also know who I am. So like, I kind of just am personally asking for permission to have 1 or 2 of these because I don't want to have a bunch and have you be like, where the fuck did my treats go? Be like, my bad. I didn't know how many you wanted.
A month. I was going to give myself treats and when I read a book. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so sorry. So for the most part, but I find this interesting because I kind of, in this perspective in the situation, like I'm kind of on the guy's side a little bit of like, I specifically set aside this fruit to get more ripe because that's how I like it. I actually set aside several for you so that you can have them the way that you like it,
Well, let me ask this because I didn't go through all the details in this story. Did he communicate that? Because that's where I start and stop with this. Like if he communicated clearly to her, like, hey, I like mine a little riper than you do. I like mine like a little softer, a little more pudding-esque. If I'm going to set these aside, please don't eat these. I would like 4 of them for later. If he communicated that to her and she still ate them, that's some bullshit. But if he was just like, I'm just going to buy these and she thinks, oh, he bought more fruit. Like, I'm just going to go eat the fruit.
Apparently, according to this post, she got upset with him because he's, when he offered her a bite, she's like, no, I'll get my own. He's like, no way, those are mine. And she said, she got upset with this and said, this has been the posters thing his whole life, his whole marriage. He designates foods as his, And she said all food should be anyone's to eat if that person wants it at that moment. And that is something I don't like.
I disagree with that.
Like that seems that seems very much like it's here, fair game. I'm like, not necessarily. If there's a plan for that, then great. And I go back to it. Did he communicate the plan? Did he communicate like I have X amount of these? I'm setting these aside to get ripe so that I can enjoy them. I got you these so you can enjoy them whenever you see fit. But these particular, please leave these be because I like them to get a little more ripe.
Exactly. Yes.
But the idea of like, there's any food in this house, I can just fucking eat it. It's like, I don't know. Check and see what the plan is. Because sometimes like Natalie will be like, ooh, I want to have a handful of cheese. I'm like, I just shredded that and I have to use every single ounce of that for the food that I'm literally making. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I'm like, I bought this to make this meal. I didn't buy it so you could take a handful. I'm sorry. This is like very important. Gotta have the right amount of cheese, girl, you know? So yeah, I don't like the idea of just like, food's in the house, I can eat it. I'm like, in general, yes, but ask what the plan is for it and make sure that it's cool, you know?
Well, I would say if there's something that like, if you see, all of a sudden you see like 3 dozen eggs, like if I walk in and there's like 3, cause usually we'll have like a dozen eggs. Cause Beth and I, that's, you know, we'll that gets us from grocery trip to grocery trip, right? But if I walk in and I open the door and I'm like, oh, there's 3 dozen eggs here. In my head, the first thing I'm going to go to is Beth's probably baking or she's planning on doing something. And so I'm going to say, hey, do you need all of these eggs for something or can some of these go? But if I walk in,
what do you mean all these eggs? And you're like, there's 3 dozen eggs in here. And she just gets a terrified look on her face and she goes, we have to leave now.
That would be incredible. That would give me something to do during the day.
She's like, no, we have to leave, get the dogs, get whatever you have on you. We're leaving. We're leaving this town. We're leaving our house behind. We have to start a new life.
Has this happened to you before?
They found us. And she goes, let's go now.
Who's leaving eggs in her fridge?
What do you do? What do you do, Justin?
Can I have them or not, though? Can we
gotta go now. She pulls a gun out from under the sofa, starts assembling it.
What?
She starts putting like camouflage paint on her face. You're like, oh my God, I'm living in a Bourne movie.
How to field strip a gun? What is happening right now?
She just like goes and strategically starts pulling stuff from like behind picture frames and things like that.
And I look at her and go, I hung those. Where did you put?
And then she just like, as she's talking, she looks at you and she just pulls out a giant combat knife and sticks it in her boot. She goes, you met me at a very strange time in my life. You're like, I've been married to you for years.
We've been together for 50 years. How has this never come up? Why do you think we moved to Grand Rapids?
They found us. What huh? Because there's 3 dozen eggs?
That would be the best.
There you go.
If that's the trigger, 3 dozen eggs. Man, I want to know who's after you with 3. That is something else.
It's the sign that you're terrified of.
Sign, yeah. Yeah, no, but again, so like I guess I subscribe to if there's food in the house, eat it. Yes. Like if there's milk in the fridge, like I'm going to, and I need it for something. If I finish the gallon, if she finishes it, whatever. Like if I was hoping for cereal the next morning, but she finished it the night before, that's tough. That's life. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can't get mad at something like that.
Yeah, it's a household item like milk or whatever, cereal and stuff like that. It happens.
Whatever you're doing, right? But if there's something that like if you eat all the things, then all of a sudden there's a whole nother, I don't know how they're sold, a sack of these whatevers. A bushel and a peck of them. Maybe be like, hey, you keep buying these. Are you planning some with these? Like, I feel like if there's something out of the ordinary, then you should ask. At the same time, it is equally on him to say, hey, this is the 3rd trip to the store I've made for these things. Please don't eat these. I need these to sit and get soft so I can enjoy them. Like I think there's the onus falls on both sides in my opinion.
Of course. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let us know. What are your food rules in your weird house? And do you get nervous when there's 3 dozen eggs? No one has purchased? Is that the sign to run?
Wait, are you sure it was 3 dozen? Yeah, not 2.
4?
No.
Okay,
No.
4 is okay, but 3?
3, we got to go.
We got to go. We got to get out of here. All right, quick one before we head to the game. I want to talk about this new cologne from Miller High Life.
Yes.
Miller High Life is making a cologne
colognes.
that it says smells like a dive bar. It's called Dive Bar Fume. And it is special. I can't believe anyone would really want this.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, like, I feel like this isn't in, partnership with another organization. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like Miller High Life's like, hey, we need to start our own like sniffing department here. I don't know what they call them. Scentologists,
No, sniffing department's right.
We'll get Chuck's head of the sniffing department. We'll put him in.
Chuck seems to always be smelling people around the office. He just walks up and smells their hair. Do you think
smells a lot of chairs after people sat in them?
Chuck, we want to talk to you about a promotion, bud.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what's included in the cologne. So it has dive bar notes, including cedarwood and patchouli, inspired by the wood of a bar top, tobacco and leather for the scent of well-worn fart-filled bar stools, champaca blossom, a flowery scent the brand says is reminiscent of a bartender cracking open a Miller High Life, and sea salt for the basket of fries the champagne of beers will soon wash down. Now this, you can't get it anymore. It was from December 4th through 6th. Fans over the age of 21 have been able to try and get their hands on the fragrance for $60 while supplies last. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's sold out in the first and second days, but there's one more chance to get your hands on the golden bottle. Nobody cares. I love this. Al Roker tried some of this.
Oh, really?
Apparently he grabbed the bottle and spritzed a willing volunteer. And she said, "How do I smell?" He goes, "It's weird. It's a little piney." Oh man. Oh, someone else goes, "How do I smell?" "Like Friday night." So this got me thinking, what other scents would you love to see like exist? I used to have a great idea of yeah, like I don't know, or whatever. What would you try to pitch based on, because I have some ideas,
So there's a smell that I worked for a while. It worked at Connie's Pizza in Chicago in the Hyatt Regency, and there is a distinct. Anyone that's worked in the food and beverage industry will know, like, there's a distinct smell of a kitchen or like a kitchen wash area. There, like, and it's just every time I go into a restaurant, if we walk by like the kitchen area or the back where the two swinging doors, whatever that leads to, if I catch that smell, it puts me right back into Connie's, and it is for me a wildly unpleasant odor. And I would love for someone to make that into, because I think if you gifted that to someone who's worked food and beverage, man, would they? It is such a distinct smell that it when you smell it, you're like, that's a restaurant or that's a kitchen, and yeah. it's not good. I think it'd be a wonderful gag gift for anyone who works in the F&B industry.
Yeah, I used to have an idea for joke candles that would have like suspicious names. That would kind of lead you, like the top layer would be like smell like very nice, like pine needles or whatever. Okay. But as you got further down, the real scent would start coming through.
All right.
Like you call like ocean breeze. It smells really good. But as you go down, it starts smelling like dead fish.
I got you.
Man, what smells like fish?
That.
Yeah. I've had this idea for years. So, this is kind of in line with that, where you try to market it as something, whatever. But this is like very specific. It's like, we want you. I smell like a dive bar. It's like, right. That's a thing. I like to make one called work bathroom, where there's. I think of the Essex in particular.
I was going to say, how could you not
into that locker room? I think the way I can best describe it is there was a sour smell in the air when you walked in there, man. It was so awful.
Oh,
and
I
disgusting.
got goosebumps just you describing sour smell. Like, this is gross.
Yeah, it was a sour smell, man.
Ugh.
And I maybe it was, from the urine stains on the tile floor. I don't know.
Maybe it was from the boogers painted over
the
on the
fossilized
walls.
boogers on the walls and on the stalls. I don't know, but that was a very particular scent where I remember I'd hold my breath, or I do one of the things where you breathe in really fast to kind of like get acclimated to it.
Yep.
So it doesn't start bothering you anymore. But man, for 6 years, clocking in and clocking out, going in there, and oh my God, it was the fucking worst.
What about
absolute worst?
What about the smell of? You remember when a kid would throw up in grade school, and the janitor would bring out whatever that sawdust shit was, but it wasn't quite sawdust, but it was something, and you're like, I don't know, that has like that soury. It's such a unique smell to that.
It smelled like cedarwood and patchouli. You know what I mean?
with notes of smoke and tobacco. Yeah,
a little tobacco and leather in there. I'd love to do another one that's like gorilla exhibit at the zoo. Because like you walk in to that area, especially if it's an enclosed exhibit, it's like BO and turds. Like those are like the two very potent, pungent smells, and you're like, I'm having a fun time being here, but god damn, it's got a very particular smell in here. You're just like an alpha gorilla doesn't worry about taking a shower, so I'm an alpha. Psst, psst, psst. It's like, you smell like BO and shit, man. He's like, yeah, because I'm a gorilla. Like, no one's gonna want to be around you, pal.
The gorilla is really aggressive. I like that.
Yeah, it's very gross.
I think you might have caught this when you might have had it with your own dogs, but I think you might have caught it when you were up here with Benny. I want to make a candle. It's called Expressions.
Oh man, that is a particular smell.
That is a particular smell.
Good call.
For those who don't know, dogs' anal glands. There's two little pockets in there, and they have some secretion that they have when they poop. It expresses those glands naturally. Sometimes they can get backed up, if you will, and they can leak. And if they get excited, like sometimes if a dog gets startled or something, there can be that can cause it to excrete as well. But you can go get your dog's anal glands. Yes, you can go get your dog's anal glands expressed, and it's I've watched the vet techs do this for Benny, and it is, you can tell when they start the procedure, and then once they get it out, they're just like, all of their heads just reel back, and I'm watching them through the glass. I'm like, oh, I feel bad, but I'm also paying you to do this. So
I'm literally giving you real American currency to do this.
Yeah, and that's because I don't want exactly what you're dealing with right now. So anyone who has experienced that in their house or on their couch and had to like do a thorough scrubbing, I would love to get you a candle that's just called Expressions.
Oh, Loki's done that in our van a couple of times. I'm like, what is that smell?
In the car is the worst, though.
Yeah.
In the car is the worst.
And then she licks it up.
Yes.
Ugh. I'm like, Jill's like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, she's cleaning it up. Whatever it is. It's awful. Terrible. The only other one I can think of is we'll call it McDonald's on Jackson Avenue in Chicago at 2 a.m.
I like that. Vague. Explain more.
Yeah, it's a very generic quality of pungency, because you got 2 a.m. smell.
Yep.
At a McDonald's at Jackson Avenue in Chicago. That's the 24-hour location, and you're like, I think most of them are, but you're like, woof.
Some of that salt that's in the Miller High Life one is in that one as well.
We could call it Red Lines, and it's the Chicago Red Line smell.
There it is. Not approved by the FDA. Actually considered a toxin, a neurotoxin.
Also not approved by the CTA. Don't pee on the trains, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, fucking A.
Woo. $60. All those $60 go to, head over to redbubble.com and
right. And you can, if you want a custom scent, you got on our Patreon for the $20 tier, you can, we'll make a custom scent for you.
Yeah. That's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do.
There's a candle place here. I'm sure they have them everywhere, but there's a candle place that Beth and I went to here.
Candle places only exist in Grand Rapids.
See, this town, I tell you, it's magic.
It's
Pure magic
best.
Here. But you can mix your own oils and make your own candles. So they've just got a whole wall of scents. and you can go through and do that. And I'm wondering I'm wondering if there's anything over there that I could go through and just make like the worst possible. Could I recreate any of the things we're talking about here?
You know how I used to call it doing a suicide at a soda machine?
Yes, absolutely.
Get everyone just get every cent.
So when they go, okay, so go ahead, take some time, smell these, pick 2, maybe 3, and then bring them to the counter. I walk over with all the bottles. Just
are they like pump bottles from the top or whatever?
No, they're like squirt Like you squirt them into something, yeah.
I imagine you just going as they're like, go ahead and take a look. You're like, like, not again, again.
No, you are banned from this location, sir.
Yeah, you somehow get away with it, and you get home. And you're like, Beth, check this out, and you light it, and she smells it, and she goes, "We gotta go. Pack your stuff.
Check the fridge."
They know.
They know.
They know. Let us know what sense you'd like to make in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. All right, let's close this out with, once again, a wonderful game of guessing that movie based on the audio. Yeah. This one's for Justin. And Justin, I'm going to be honest, I'm not super confident you've seen the movies.
Fair enough.
To these audio clips.
Are they? It would make me so happy if one clip was from Arcane, one was from the other one that you recommended.
Say its name. Say its
Levels.
name. Guess what's its name? Hey,
and the
close.
other one is from Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty.
Steaming Frosty.
See, what you didn't know is that I was secretly working that in there so you could be like, Hot Frosty? You know? Hot Frosty sounds like a dirty move.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So wait, how did you break your arm? She did the Hot Frosty.
We were doing the Hot Frosty last night. Like, oh shit!
Oh man, you didn't brace, did you? No, you didn't brace.
No, you got to brace for the Hot Frosty.
You got to brace for the Hot Frosty. Everyone knows that.
All right. So the way this works is I'm going to play an audio clip from a film, and Justin's going to listen to it, and Justin's going to have to guess what film it's from. So most of these that I pick are just fun lines that stick in my head. So they could be prominent, they could not. But here we go. You ready for your first one?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Hello. You better grow eyes in the back of your fucking head, you horned piece of shit, because I'm not gonna sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass. I'm going on safari, motherfucker. Safari.
Gee whiz. What a day.
Gee whiz, what a day. That's Death to Smoochie.
It is Death to Smoochie! Hey! Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
nice.
But contextually, I that is, first off, I'm like, Robin Williams, okay. Robin Williams, it's a comedy, not a whatever, but like he's also really aggressive in it. So there's only so many things. And the foam rubber ass, I'm like, foam rubber. So yeah.
Yeah.
It was
nice.
Enough context was in that one.
That is an underrated film.
Okay.
It is so worth a watch. Directed by Danny DeVito. Jon Stewart's in it. Ed Norton's in it. Like it's so good. Like I know a lot of Jon Stewart makes fun of it all the time. When he's talking about people acting, he's like, I was in Death to Smoochie. So, like, but I love it. It's so bizarre and silly and fun. Like it's great. Like it's really, really good. There's so many quotable lines. Well done. Great job.
All right. Off to a good start.
Didn't see it, but he still got it. All right. Here we go. Number 2.
Listen, mister, I'm getting awful tired of your... I'm getting tired of your gas. Now jerk that pistol and go to work. I said throw down, boy. Oh. You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
All right, real quick. Is this a real movie or is this an adult film?
You're going to say, is this AI?
Jerk that pistol and go to work.
You're going to sit there or you're going to bleed? You
stand there and bleed.
Yeah. Now come fuck me. Okay, so I want to say that's Clint Eastwood.
It's not Clint Eastwood.
Fuck. Okay, give it to me.
You're headed in the right direction.
Give it to me again.
All right, here we go.
Listen, mister, I'm getting awful tired of your... I'm getting tired of your gas. Now jerk that pistol and go to work. I said throw down, boy. Oh. You gonna do something or just stand there and bleed?
Kurt Russell.
It is Kurt Russell.
Okay, it's Kurt Russell.
Again, out of context, sounds so sexual. I'm getting tired
really
of your gas.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, mister.
Now jerk that pistol and go to work.
Was Kurt Russell in fuck. Not Young Guns.
Ooh. He's getting it. I think he's got it.
No. Oh, was it? No.
I think he's
Was
got
it Wyatt Earp?
It's not Wyatt Earp because that movie starred Kevin Costner.
Oh, fuck.
Oh
man, I feel like I'm circling it.
You are.
I feel like I know the movie. I'm just forgetting the name of it. Like,
he's circling the wagons on this one.
Oh fuck! Is it Hateful Eight?
No.
Yeah, he's in that one, right?
He is in that one.
Okay, good.
Oh shit! Was he in that?
I'm like, wait, did I just really fuck that one up?
He is in that.
But this sounds like this is a younger Kurt Russell.
It is a younger Kurt Russell.
Fuck a duck, dude. Was it the one? Was it at least? Is it the one that Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid, I'll Be Your Huckleberry?
Billy the Kid's not in it, but yeah, Doc Holliday's in it.
Okay, yeah, but is that the one with the Val Kilmer? Yeah, that's okay. So I'm thinking of the right movie. I'm just blank on the fucking name of it. God damn it!
You basically got this. It's Tombstone.
Tombstone. Fuck. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You got it. Nice job. And the guy that was getting slapped, Billy Bob Thornton.
I was gonna say I that sounded like
I'm
Billy
getting
Bob
real
Thornton.
tired of your mouth, Mister.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired of your gas. Now jerk that pistol and go to work. That is the scene where the Earps just get into Tombstone and they go to one of the casinos there that isn't doing so well. He finds out that there's a dealer there that basically chases out all the people. And Wyatt Earp basically goes, why don't you just chase that guy out? And the owner's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And he's like, cool. He goes over and basically slaps the guy around and gets him out. And he's like, what do you say there? 25% of the house take work for you? Basically acquiring himself a job in this town that he just showed up in. So
I can't tell you the last time I saw that movie. I loved it, but I cannot tell you the last time I saw it. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's funny because doing just some novel research on it, that movie is full of shit.
As far as like movie. Historical fiction or facts
Wyatt Earp. They make Wyatt Earp seem like such an awesome guy. Wyatt Earp was not a good dude. Because at one point, Chris Charles, who's been on the show before, like he recommended, he goes, "Oh, you should watch Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner." I had to stop it and not finish it because I'm like, this isn't who Wyatt Earp is. I don't like this movie. He's like. But I realized I'm like, that was a more accurate portrayal of who he was. He wasn't a good dude.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
That movie really romanticizes who Wyatt Earp is. I'm like, oh, he's not really a good dude. Anyway. All right. You're doing great.
All
2
right.
for 2.
Woo.
Here's the last one. Line it up.
Seems like a sweet guy.
Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. After I take a dump.
I think you made a new friend, kid.
I quote this to Jill at least a couple times a week.
You always pull one of these out. You always have one of these where I'm not ready for it. And I'm like, fuck. I stopped listening halfway through. I gotta take a dump.
I'll be right back. I'll take a dump. Let's do it again.
Seems like a sweet guy.
Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. After I take a dump.
I think you made a new friend, kid.
All right, I'm gonna need it. I think I'm acclimated to the voice now. I think I'm gonna do it one more time so I can actually focus.
All right, look for clues. Go.
All right.
Seems like a sweet guy.
Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. After I take a dump.
I think you made a new friend, kid.
Is that Danny DeVito at the end?
It is Danny DeVito at the end.
Okay. Fuck. Oh man, I can't place.
I don't think you've seen this movie. I know you haven't seen this movie. Guaranteed. There are 3 different actors. Yes.
Okay. Like there's someone who starts the scene, the person going to take a dump, and then Danny DeVito wraps it up. Okay.
You have not. Guarantee you have not seen this film.
Okay. trying to think like what movies DeVito been in that someone would have that effect on their voice. As like what context could this scene be living in?
One more time because I love it so much.
Seems like a sweet guy.
Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after I take a dump.
I think you made a new friend, kid.
Okay, so the guy says, "Don't go anywheres." So anywheres, it sounds New York. Sounds like New Yorky. Like
I will confess something. I had to edit this slightly because he says something that obviously says like gives something away. So it turned out like you don't go anywheres, which I'm like, oh, that's perfect. It doesn't give anything away.
Don't go anywhere, Sam or whatever. Like
he says something. Yeah. He says something that I'm like, oh yeah, like that would that would give it away. But to be fair, this does take place in New York, so
still had a New York sound and accent. So okay, based on the music, I'm gonna say is it kind of like a period piecey type, like so it's modern day with whatever word. Okay,
that would be a great period piece.
Well, not period. I guess when I say period piece, I mean even like back in like the 40s. You know what I mean? Like
welcome to the 1940s. Hey, I'll be right back after I go take a dump. Jimmy 2 times hasn't been the same since that brick fell on his head.
Hey, 3 cartons of eggs. Now I'm going to take a dump.
Don't go anywhere. I'll be back after I take a dump.
Fuck, man. I don't think I'm going to get... I'm just trying to think. I'm blanking on most DeVito films. I'm like, it's not... Again, if it's like modern day, we're talking like 90s or more current, right?
Wait. Hold on. I definitely think it's from the 90s.
Okay. But like it's not beyond. It's set when I say present day, like it's 90s or it's not set in like the 70s, correct. 60s, right. 40s. Okay, yeah. Right. So like LA Confidential, like that kind of shit would be okay.
I'd love to see that line in LA Confidential.
Yeah, right. There would be no reason for that line to exist in LA Confidential. Someone was a rat. I go take a dump.
In the outtake of this scene, the guy goes, "Hey, I gotta go take a shit," and Danny DeVito like spits out his water because he wasn't expecting to say, "I gotta go take a shit."
Is it Taxi the movie? I don't know. I got nothing.
It's Death to Smoochie.
Oh fuck! Okay, you double dipped on me.
I was like, oh, I forgot. There's this line. Oh, there's this line.
Seems like a sweet guy.
Hey, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after I take a dump.
I think you made a new friend, kid.
So what he says is like, don't go anywhere, Smoochie.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go take a dump. So what's happening there is Danny DeVito is taking Ed Norton's character out to a fancy dinner at this place they're going to. It's run by the Irish mob, and there's a guy whose family's in the mob, and he used to be a boxer, and he's not all there anymore, but he loves Smoochie's show, which is for kids.
Got it.
And like he's like, "Hey, Smoochie," and he's like just loves this guy so much, and then like his sister takes him away, and then he's like walking by in this very fancy restaurant, like, "Hey, don't go anywhere, Smoochie. I'll be back. I gotta take a dump." It's just like they're sitting there like, what?
All right, I'm gonna need to watch the film now. I gotta watch.
I think you'll enjoy it. Robin Williams is like, just he has some amazing lines, and just it's bizarre. It's so good. So sorry to double dip on you, but I found both of those, and
it was worth. It was like one of those trick questions in a quiz.
Yeah,
you're like, wait a second, have we been there again already? Yeah,
I felt bad, but I'm like,
I should have it would have been good if I just took a swim. Like, death to Smoochie.
Well, the thing was too is like I told you, I was like Ed Norton's in it, Danny DeVito's in it, Jon Stewart. Like I was kind of giving you some clues after the first one to be
I don't think when you said Danny DeVito, I think I missed that.
You're like, I wasn't listening.
I heard Jon Stewart, and I heard like he's like, oh, Stewart always makes fun of it, but for some reason I didn't clock when you said DeVito.
Like, it was directed by Danny DeVito.
Directed by yes, I did. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Look,
it's good.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
And the first Smoochie you got, and you didn't even see the movie, so that's a win. That's a win right there. Excellent work. Justin, what do you got to recommend this week?
I'm going to recommend a really cool film called My Old Ass. It is written and directed by Megan Park. It's her first feature film, as I understand it. Stars Aubrey Plaza and young actress by the name of Maisie Stella. And basically, it deals with what would you ask your older self? So young girl's turning 18. And she's getting ready to move out of this sleepy Canadian town where her family owns a cranberry farm. And like, she's like, I'm fucking done with it here. I want to go to the city. I want to have, go to college, have fucking adventures. This is crap here. 18th birthday, they go, her and her friends go camping and they take mushrooms. And she trips so hard that she meets her 40-year-old self. And
that's cool.
She starts to get like intel, like Aubrey Plaza is telling her like, hey, here's things to avoid. Here's things to do. Whatever you do, stay away from Chad. And she's like, I don't even know a Chad. And so the next day she meets Chad and it becomes very hard to stay away from Chad. And so they're talking on the phone. So they're still communicating through time somehow with phones and text. The thing I loved about it is it's a unique idea. It blends a little bit of like, it's pure comedy. It's a coming of age story with comedic elements. And if you are a fan of coming of age stories, this is a fantastic coming of age story.
I do like coming of age stories.
Yeah. So I think you'd like this one. Really good coming of age story, but it's got a little bit of that like kind of like weird, like sci-fi twist. But what I love about it is they do not explain it. Even the characters
doesn't
are like,
need to be
like the second time they meet, like one of them was like, I had to do so much, like whatever to like, I had to take so many drugs to get back here. Like they don't understand how it works. They just know they have to be high in order to time slip, but it's never discussed why. And I'm like, that's perfect. Don't explain the science to me. All I need to know is that in this reality, this is possible. And these two did it, and it's a really heartwarming story too. Like it's got a lot of heart, a lot of comedy. And I just thought it was a really, really cool fucking, and huge kudos to Megan Park for writing and directing this. Like that's not an easy feat, and she fucking nailed it. And God, is it beautiful? The scenery that they shot up in Canada, holy shit! It's just like it's a filmmaker's wet dream up there. So beautiful. My old ass.
Gross.
Doug, what do you got?
wet dream. My old ass. I'm going to recommend Secret Level. The second half.
What is this
of the episodes were you
Secret
shut
Level.
Your fucking dick holster. All 15 episodes are available now. The second half will release today, as when we were recording this. And such a great and creative way of just jumping into some video game properties and just telling a quick short story. They've got Dungeons and Dragons. They've got Warhammer 40K. They've got Pac-Man, which is dark. And I love it. There is Mega Man. And there is a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of games I've never played before, but thoroughly enjoyed seeing it. Some I liked more than others, but like the Unreal Tournament one was great. And I was like, you just get this, here's this property. I'm like, I don't know what to expect. It's like, here we go. Some of them are like, as expected. Other ones I'm like, that was really fucking cool. I didn't see that one coming. And it was just fun. It was just fun. And it leaves you wanting more. And they range anywhere from like 8 minutes to like 19 minutes. So
fucking A, that's
you
perfect.
Can get through all of them. And I love the art of a short story, because there was one I watched today for a game that I've never even heard of. And I was just sitting there just like, what's going to happen? Oh my God. And then it was over. I'm like, wait, what does that mean? You know, I had to go look it up. I'm like, I'm an idiot. I don't think I got it. And I had to go look it up. But like, animation is just fantastic. So I highly recommend it to anyone, especially if you like Warhammer 40K, Dungeons & Dragons. Those two are like fucking phenomenal, like fantastic. Great ones. And all the other ones are totally worth it. Their styles and everything are all unique and fun and interesting. Some of them are very dark. But what I love about the Pac-Man one is Bandai, the company that like owns Pac-Man, literally said, do something weird with it.
Oh, cool. See, man, that's awesome.
They're like, yeah, do something. Go have fun. And they're like, okay.
That's
and apparently
awesome.
they were struggling to find something. Then one guy went away for the weekend and came back with almost like the script that they used almost in its entirety for it.
Where did you read an article about this, or was it an interview?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They're like, yeah. They were like, do something weird. And they're like, okie dokie.
I see. Kudos to when a brand has that kind of awareness and they've got that much self-assuredness in their brand. Magic can happen out of that. Kudos to them. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's something. So it's on Amazon Prime. If you have it, I highly recommend it. It's not going to eat up a lot of your time. So you can watch them all relatively quick. So check them out. Gang, thanks for hanging out with us this week. As always, you can check us out on all of our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Please check the link in the description at youtube.com/MindGap Podcast. Like and subscribe while you're there. We're so close to 500 subs. Check the link in the descriptions we've got links to our Discord. Come hang out with us there. We got links to our Patreon, links to our merch at Redbubble. Check all that stuff out. Be good to us and all that good stuff. And check out Justin online as well.
On Instagram at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It's the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, anywhere where you can get audio versions of podcasts, guess what? You can find us there too. So go ahead and subscribe, download, share, save, rate, review, whatever you can do. Do the things that you can do on those platforms. And the big one is sharing. Let people know that we exist. And we thank you in advance for doing so. And you know what? We're going to ask one more thing. Ask someone to go say, hey, just go to YouTube and subscribe to this channel. Help get these guys over to 500 mark. I think at the time we're recording, we're 7 away. So we're so close. Mm-hmm. So get us there. And then TuiStates.com, TuiState on all social media, loveandimprovfilm.com, loveandimprovfilm on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. With that, I'll say, Justin, thank you.
Douglas, thank you.
Listeners, viewers, thank you. You all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.